Welcome back. We are still here in Bethlehem with Father Matt from Philadelphia, and our question for this week is, why is there suffering when it's not caused by sin? So earthquakes or cancer, why do things happen when there's not a cause that is based in sin? Father Matt, would you like to answer that?
Sure, definitely. I'll try. First of all, know that I don't have all the answers. It's just based on observations that I've made throughout my 54 years of life here on earth. And I would say this, I think the question there that you're asking is, why does God allow suffering at all? And if God is so good and so full of love, why would he let us suffer? I would just say in two stages. First of all, suffering is part of the deal of life. The best thing that I can tell young people, and I taught high school for a long time, is that life is hard. It's hard for everybody. And so suffering is just going to come your way. We're here in Bethlehem, and think of what happened here in Bethlehem, that the Holy Family was almost massacred by King Herod here, and they had to flee into Egypt from this very place. So why does God allow it? Well, think of what suffering does. Suffering, it either makes us better or it makes us bitter. And if we allow it, suffering can make us better persons, because it can drive us to our knees so that we can be people of prayer and cling to God, to be sure. And then what winds up happening is it winds up making us better people. It makes us more human. It gives us the power to empathize with other people who are suffering. And so the question is, why would a good God allow people to suffer for any reason? Like a child has cancer, and I've ministered to many young people who have cancer and other illnesses, or a person dies, say when they're still very young, or whatever the case may be, or if it's earthquakes or tidal waves or fires or landslides or anything like that. I think that what it does, when I look at suffering, it can make people, better than what they were. Not me better than you, but me better than what I would have been. I know I look back on all the suffering in my life. I'm not perfect, but I'm better than I would have been had I never suffered. So I would just say, for those reasons, suffering can be very powerful if we let it. It's hard, and it's going to come. It's going to happen no matter what. That's part of the deal of life. So allow it to make you a better person and not a bitter person.
Allowing God into it instead of keeping God out of it.
Yeah, and what God himself suffered, right? On the cross, he sent his son, and he suffered, and his mother suffered. So, yeah, that's part of the human experience, is suffering. So learn to embrace it and transform it. And that can only happen when you have God in your life.
Thank you so much, Father Matt.
You're welcome.
See you guys next time.